started up, so I'll just tell them they can go ahead.
Sure.
Alright, I've just told them they can start now, so yeah. Now, I'm gonna
Are you up on Twitch
spectate.
now?
I'm gonna spectate Crystal. If you spectate Dual, because I don't actually have Dual on my friends list, amazingly. Just because we'll
Okay.
get card
Yep.
information.
Sure.
So, welcome everyone to the
Right. Are
Ivia.
you up on Twitch?
Yep. To the Ivia Open Cup #1 finals. The 2-week long tournament. But it worked. We got there.
Jesus. We are here. We are finally. Okay, so I'm just logging in now,
Alright, I've got Dual on here as well.
and I'll
now.
get Dual's side. Yeah, you want crystals?
Yeah, I'll do Crystal. Now, Hall is lagging, so if it keeps up, then yeah, there's not much we can do, but that's why he doesn't have a camera up, because that makes it worse.
Okay.
We did try.
We tried the camera, and yeah.
It was fine for like
Not that
30
I'm being
seconds.
shy. Yeah. 30 seconds of my face.
Yep, and then afterwards it was like, yeah,
Okay.
no. Alright. Yep, I think audio's fine now.
we can't possibly run that.
Alright, it's been so long since I've actually done a stream. Well, okay, it hasn't been that long. I did a SoulForge one randomly. But, yeah. Alright, so they've just started. I'll pick up Crystal side of things. Now, this matchup is Wisdom Dominion versus RD Zash, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's right. So Crystalslime has a pretty big matchup advantage, although he does need to win 2 best-of-3s. So we'll see what Dual's side deck can do for him.
Yeah, so the rules, if people don't know about double elimination finals, is the winner of the winner's bracket faces the winner of the loser's bracket, but you need to lose twice to be eliminated. So the winner's bracket finalist has to lose twice. So they'll play 2 best-of-3s most likely, since this matchup is a bit lopsided, but you never know. But most likely we'll have 2 best-of-3s. But 2 best-of-3s is also enough where it might cancel out the matchup advantage somewhat. But yeah, if I had to bet
That's
on
right.
the
I'm
outcome
deck,
here.
so sorry, I lost you there for a bit.
Oh.
If you had to bet on the outcome, who?
I think I'd probably go for Dual. But it depends a lot on sideboard, to be honest, because if he can get a surprise sideboard victory,
Yeah.
no, I hope a lot. But the matchup is in Crystalslime's favor, that's for sure. Alright.
So
You
it's going
back?
to be interesting, but oh, did you lose me?
Yep. We've got Robot
Hello?
Y'all.
Yeah, Jono.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I've
All
lost
right.
you completely now, mate.
That's fine. I can hear you.
Can you
All right.
hear me?
Yep.
Or is it terrible?
No, I can actually hear you properly. All right. Let's get on to the actual game. So they both had ramp starts.
Right.
Yep. Both had ramp starts.
One to level, one to them.
Yeah, Crystal
Now,
had a better
straight
opening though.
into Vamp. So yeah, but Vampirism coming out early is kind of big. I think so. He's done that to make his miss. Sorry, his no mistress so easily.
It gains a bit of life out of this as well, which is really important since one of the ways Dual can win is through aggression.
Yes. I
Right. Both have cathedrals, although
think also
didn't catch any of that whatsoever.
maybe yeah, they're very early scatter. If, oh,
Nothing's coming through, and my bitrate's fine, so I know it's not on my end. Oh, that's
I'm
terrible.
feeling me out of the game. Yeah, yeah. Um, just if it goes bad again, just drop me out, and then I'll see if I can fix things on my end and come back in.
Okay. Alright. I know it's not
Did
on
you get
my end
that?
because my
Did you get that
bitrate's
bit?
fine. So at least the stream is safe. Oh, that's terrible. Alright. What do we got
No,
here?
no, it's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing coming through, mate. You might just wanna drop and then sort of
No,
test your internet speed and then come back when it
yeah,
picks up.
yeah, yeah. I, I don't know if you can hear me, but that's exactly what I'll do. So
Alright.
I will call back in if I can fix this.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, alright, this is a solo stream now. Alright, so what has happened? Well, we got the Drayla come down, which is actually pretty big. Got rid of a bidding, which is probably the most important card in this entire matchup. Although we're more than likely going to see a flipped bidding in this matchup, since whoever plays it first, if you both go for life gain, whoever plays it first wins. So the second person will often play a flipped bidding, and by that I mean the damage mode, simply because they cancel. Oh, there's his own Drayla. There's a lot of spell redundancy in this hand, though. He gets rid of the Cataclysm because it's the higher impacting spell. Now, if you notice, Crystalslime is playing a very, very anti-aggro list for game 1. The reason for this is probably because he knows he can sideboard to win more games against control than he can against aggro. So he's planning for aggro, so he's playing Mistress and Assassinates. Alright. Assassinate there, deals with it. I did get to use the Drayla ability though, which is kind of huge. Alright. The Bloodwell Matriarch. Now, he already used one of the spells. He's still got the Fireball though. But a lot of stuff in Dual's list will be 4/4 or larger in the case of Dragon, so it's going to be less critical to have Fireball, but it does help. Like, you can kill a 4/4 with a weakness emblem off Cathedral, for instance. He could go Cathedral plus Fireball to kill this Battle-Scarred Elder, which could be very, very large. Now, since I'm solo casting, I think the way we're going to do this in terms of spectating is for game 2, I'm going to switch to Dual, and then game 3, switch back, etc. Just so we get a feel for both perspectives a little bit. Now, I actually played against Crystalslime in this tournament, and he completely crushed me. I was playing Rage Soldiers though, so the very, very heavy anti-aggro style that he's playing really did come into its own. And I think that's one of the reasons he's come so far compared to some of the other control players is simply because he's playing this very, very defensive version, which helps a lot when it comes to sideboard games, since you can always side out the useless cards. Now, that Cannonade was a bit of a problem, but not that much. It is a 1-for-1 trade. He already got value. He already used the Power Surge, drew a card. And this hero power. This hero power is probably going to make this matchup almost unwinnable. I think that's what the real thing is. And now I think about it more, it's going to be very hard for Duall to win this. Like, unless he has a crazy good sideboard plan. I think he's going to lose the first best of 3 almost guaranteed, I think. The second one, it is possible for him just to get good draws and Crystalslime not to, but this is going to be very rough for Duall. Unless the sideboard is, Flame Serpents and such. Alright, so Crystal takes game 1. Now, they're going to be sideboarding, so we're more than likely going to have a little bit of a break here. I'll message one of them just to ask me to just to tell me before they go into game. All right. It's just so I get a notification that pops up when they're ready. But yeah, this matchup is not fantastic for Duall, but it's not unwinnable, but it is harsh. And it makes it harder that he's playing Advanced Despina instead of Advanced Darius, as Advanced Darius is very, very handy against aggro decks and mid-range decks, but against something like Artie Zash, you really want the ability to pluck Karthus and Red Dragon and such out of his deck, and gives you a lot of extra win conditions that you normally just don't have access to. While we're waiting, there was an announcement on the forums about this, but after the games, after we proclaim a winner, me and hopefully Hall, if he's here, I hope so, we'll be announcing the Hall of Fame rules, where basically after Masters we're going to be doing a nomination stream for an official Hall of Fame. And once we do the nominations, there will be set guidelines of community contribution and Masters performance, or if they were around before Masters, then we'll take their previous stuff into account, since it matters more, since it was simply before the Masters era. And we're going to make a list of nominations, a fairly large list, and then we're going to put that list on the forums directly and let the community vote for 5 members for the initial Hall of Fame. Then those members are going to be getting an in-game emblem saying, hey guys, this is a Hall of Fame member, so that it's something you actually want to work for. And then after that, we're going to be inducting a new member, I think 1 per month, as far as I know. I think it's one per month after every Masters. So there's something to continue working for as players when it comes to community contribution and skill. And we're going to be weighing those fairly evenly, although there will be a skill requirement to keep in mind. You can't get in purely on community contribution, and getting in purely on Masters performance or skill is going to be difficult. Not impossible, but it will be hard. You'll probably get nominated purely on competitive ability, but it will be less likely. Only people with extremely high performance rates will get onto the list purely off their performance. Keep in mind also that community contribution will earn you more votes in the actual deciding thread, so it does matter. Now, I expect they'll take probably another two minutes before they come out of the sideboarding. I remember it was taking me about 5 minutes probably to decide, maybe a bit less. Actually, who is in this Masters? Sudsodite, Dobrsey, Steiner, Drygord, Duall. Duall is in Holy Jarl Vanguard, myself, Gekipop, Cruel, Crystalslime, Warrior Mage, Little Fur, and a few others. So yes, Dual is actually in Masters. Yeah, they are both Masters players. And Flame Serpent. He is playing Flame Serpent. Alright. Now this could get interesting. He's actually playing... He sided a more aggro variant. Flameborn Incarnates could be an absolute misery to deal with. We'll have to see, though. You need to be careful with Flameborns because they can also be very handy for Crystalslime. He can get them out of the deck, and that would only cost him 5 mana to do so? Yeah. 2 mana, 2 levels. So, it gives him a lot of extra stuff. I mean, I'd almost be tempted to throw out one of these Mistresses right now, because I think you need to get some beatdowns and cycle. Yeah, and he does. Especially considering you have a second one, and its only real targets in this matchup are, well, probably Matriarch, and that's about it. Yep, Mistresses trading. Now the question is, what do you do here? Molten Passageway is probably a no-brainer in this situation, depending on what he draws, of course. But you want to get Molten Passageway down as early as possible, since the ramping effect of Molten Passageway is what really helps out. Right. Dragonfire, that's going to help out a lot. Single target removal. Large scale single target removal. Now here, yeah, I want Molten Passageway first. I think the reason for that is mostly because he doesn't want a Divine, but he might draw a Skill Shrine. Now, the question is, what do you do here? He goes to the Incarnate. Now, this Incarnate is a bit risky because it can still get Mistressed. But, I mean, your only other option is, yeah, exactly, playing your own. Now, he might just play his own to trade Mistresses right now. Do the same trick that Crystal did, where you swap control of Mistresses and use them to trade. That's probably a fairly good way of doing it. Alright, yeah, he's gonna do the trade. Cataclysm or Silencer? I think Silencer is a bigger threat, personally. Because Cataclysm at least doesn't let him build a board. Yeah, he takes a Silencer. Now, he does have the Karthus, but he's losing his Elder here, so he's lost all momentum. Now, Crystal did not get a ramp opening, did he? Oh, he did. Oh, they both did. That's why I was... yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I thought neither of them did, but no, they both did. The second ramp matters, though, because it means he can go Karthus next turn without having to do some weird 4-level 3-mana Spark shenanigans. Question is, does he Dragonfire this? The answer, yes. Because there's another Mind Extort there that he really doesn't want to deal with. And there's the bidding. This is where things get hard. So, he knows he has a Cataclysm. I think he has to go Drayla here. And just take the Cataclysm. There's a Karthus in hand to deal with this Drayla. but hopefully that doesn't pose too much of a threat. There's an argument just to go Mistress here. He needs to cycle, and he can force the Karthus by moving back, and then he gets the Mistress back afterwards. Hoping for a Dominion Shrine there, since he wants to play Karthus next turn, most likely. Yeah, I think Crystal's got this game. This matchup is very hard, and the advanced Despina is making this even harder. Since normally it wouldn't be impossible for him to win from here, but the hero power probably makes it so. So he doesn't go for the Karthus because he doesn't see the Drayla as a threat, which is fair enough. Drayla's second ability could be a bit of a hassle, since it puts weakness emblems on 4/4s, allowing them to die from Firestorm. Alright, the question is, does he have anything else he can do? Probably not. Crystal will probably take this quite slow at this point. There's no reason to rush it. Crystal's a very methodical player, which is a playstyle that's very, very beneficial to Wisdom Dominion as an archetype. Methodical play isn't always a beneficial way of doing things, as if you're playing an aggressive deck, you're often rewarded for risk taking at the right times. But when it comes to playing a deck like this, it really does matter. Interesting. So he's basically playing around weakness emblems. Either skill shrine or not, so he can't just take out the Drayla for free. The question is, does he Karthus here? He could attack, offer the trade, and then if he trades Karthus and if he doesn't trade hero power, I think that's probably what I'd have a look at doing. So just don't play the shrine yet, because you're opening up the trade, but you're opening up for Crystal to make a mistake based on the fact that he doesn't have perfect information, which is actually a very, very big deal. And part of the mark of a good player is being able to predict what your opponent has, since making the correct play is not always simple. It's often a game of incomplete information. So that really does matter. He decides just to go for the Karthus route anyway. Okay. Moves forward. Takes the trade. Now, Duall's basically saying with this play that he wanted that outcome in general, since it gives him an extra 4/4, and he still has his hero power. Prinha. Prinha is not... Is it that much of a threat? He does get the 3/4. The question is, can he actually do anything about this? He's got the Flame Serpent. He could go Mistress of Shadows, but... like, he's going to deal with a 3/4/4 speed, which is going to be difficult. He can Red Dragon it, which is fairly large. The problem is the life gain. Normally he'd be able to sort of burst down Crystal. In fact, if Crystal hadn't played that Scatadors, he'd be at 9 or 8 life right now, I think. So he could have just gone Flame Serpent, next turn Elder Dragon, kill him. But the bidding is really, really big. Bidding is huge. There comes out the Prinha. Reduced by the Drayla, which is actually a really big deal, because it means the Prinha can die to hero power. Which makes it a little bit less problematic. Or quite a bit less, actually. Alright, let's see what Crystalslime has to say about this. He's got 5 cards in hand. He has the Karthus from earlier. He's going to get another reduction. What can he get? He can get Mind Extort. If he uses the Mind Extort, though, he can't do anything with it. And he's got Power Surge. He can't use Dragonfires because they're not level 2. It's actually something most people forget about on Bloodwell. There's so few level 3 spells that most of the time Bloodwell Matriarch reads cast a spell from your opponent's graveyard, but there is a level restriction on it, which can come up, usually within Still Life. That's the big one that sometimes occurs. First Horizons got discarded. Oh, okay. I thought he didn't ramp. Alright, that makes sense. Yeah, keep in mind I did join into this game after Crystal's first turn, so I didn't actually see it. Now, Hero Power clears board almost entirely. He can go for a Mistress here, which is the correct play because Mistress gets less value. Flame Serpent is something he can use to remove other creatures, but Mistress has very limited uses. Bidding is the problem here. He really needs to draw into his own bidding to cancel out this healing, although I think it might be a bit too late at this stage. It's definitely difficult. Definitely difficult. Now, keep in mind, if Duall loses this game, when they head into the next best of 3, they have to get rid of their sideboards. They have to play a game 1 again. It's an entirely new best of 3. Alright. Yeah, it takes out the Karthus. Almost surprised he didn't go for the dragon there, to be honest. I think there's 2 dragons in the list. Unless he sided the dragon out. Which is possible, but I don't think so. So he decided to go for the Karthus instead. Interesting. Maybe he's got Vampirism in hand. Yeah, interesting. Alright. There's the dragon. He's just going to use it to remove, basically try and 1-for-1 his opponent down. It is going to be difficult with the hero power, but not impossible. Now the question is he divining here? The answer is no. He likes all of these cards, and he's got enough mana that he doesn't really need to divine. The only marker left is 12 mana for the red dragon, but that's about it. He's gone through quite a few shrines, but he also ramped twice, I think. It was once or twice. Can't check the graveyard because the Power Surge, I think it was only once actually. The Power Surge got put into the deck again by the Bloodwell Matriarch. There's the Vampirism. 2! Okay, that explains why I went for the Karthus. That definitely explains it. Here's the thing though. This dragon's going to get to attack him. That's actually quite a big deal. Now he's got the Prinha under it, but the Prinha is not massively threatening. So he gets to deal 15, 18 damage this turn. He puts his opponent down to 5. Then he can play the Flameborn Incarnate. This is difficult, but not impossible. Not having removal for that red dragon is huge. Well, he did have removal, but he doesn't have instant removal. I think at this point, you just have to attack and then go for the double dragon hit. And Hall is messaging me. And he's having technical issues. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Puts him at 5. I think you have to play the Flameborn Incarnate. It's not impossible for Duall to win this now. He's done a lot of damage. If Crystal draws dead, he can still come out of this. Keep in mind, I don't know his hand. Alright. Cathedral. Karthus, that's huge. The Karthus is the big deal here. Oh boy. Flame Serpent. He gains 3 life, loses 1. So he gains 2 if he trades the Flame Serpent. And he can fireball the Prenha. The concern is that Crystal has the hero power next turn, making the situation very difficult. He can get the other red dragon. And he has the double vampirism, which is making things tricky. Does he have enough mana for all this? Yeah. He's got the tribute. Tribute's weird. Whenever I play Artie's Ash, I have tribute in the deck, but I never get that much use out of it. Not as much as, say, you used to be able to Burning Rage, but it does guarantee you have a fireball if you need one, which is always handy. It's just the card quality in this kind of deck is so large that it often doesn't actually matter. Yeah, resign. So, I mean, the bidding won him that game. 100%. The bidding won him that game. So now they're going to get unsideboarded, and then they'll head into series number 2, which will be a game 1 game again. Now, that game was a lot closer than I was expecting. If it wasn't for the bidding, he would have definitely lost that game to that dragon and the Flame Serpent. Hall's apparently rebooting his internet and such, so he should be back soon. Yeah, Masters is in 2 hours. Which reminds me I need to register. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so Crystalslime won the first best of 3. However, he still needs to win another one. And I'm gonna put Skype on Do Not Disturb so it doesn't constantly keep beeping at me. I know I can disable the notification sound, but that's too much effort. Alright, let's see when they hop into another game. I'll be spectating Crystalslime for this one. Was Masters ever on Sunday? Maybe it was. I don't know. As long as I can remember, it's been on Saturday, so maybe it was on Sunday initially. Alright, let's spectate Crystalslime. And we got a mulligan hand. That's good. Now, this should be pre-board. Alright. Power discharge. He didn't have ramp, but neither did Dual, so this is going to be a lot slower of a game compared to game 1 in the first best of 3. The helm could be really big. I think 2 Printhas is probably too much, yeah. Misses Divine, that could hurt. If he misses a second one, he could be in serious trouble. Mistress. I mean, we're probably just going to see a Mistress here. Yeah. Alright. Seeing this again. And then trade the Mistresses. It's actually a really, really strong trade-off. Because Mistress is one of those cards where the downside is you take 3 damage, but the upsides are huge. You get to draw a card, you get a 3/3 and a removal. The downside is you don't get to target the removal, and also your opponent can do stuff with the creature, which can be problematic with, say, Bezarok or something, but usually there aren't that many ways of actually sacrificing, so it usually sticks around. Now that Molten Passageway did give him a draw, which could be quite large. Yeah, it's just going to shock it so it doesn't actually deal any damage. Now, so far, he hasn't actually played any spells, meaning that this Duall Matriarch is not useless, but not brilliant. However, there are a lot of spells being thrown backwards and forwards in this particular series, so it should be fairly good. The question is, do you get rid of a Helm or the Cataclysm? Yeah, probably the Helm, just because Cataclysm's got a bit of redundancy, whereas Helm can be even more problematic. Alright, so he gets the printer down. His hope is that he can go for the 3rd level next turn so it doesn't die to the hero power. The advanced Ash hero power has not been very instrumental so far in this series, which makes sense. It doesn't kill a lot. It's more of just a couple of fireballs in this matchup as opposed to a big board sweeper. Gets the Battle-Scarred Elder down. Here comes the Print Hat. Now he's definitely going to want to go up that 3rd level this turn. I guess use New Horizons for it now if he wants to. Yep, that's the play. Now he's got Stronghold Metropolis. Keep in mind he's main decking Stronghold Metropolis, which is interesting. I figured he'd be side decking it, but apparently not. Now the question is, how does he deal with this Prenha? He could have a mutant. Mutant Fireball would do it. Dragonfire would do it. Three, 4 speed is really hard to deal with, so yeah, he's just gonna play down the Phoenix instead. He's probably holding up Fireball in case there's a weakness emblem for this Battle-Scarred Elder, which there is. There's 2 actually. He also doesn't want to really play any spells right now due to Duall Matriarch being a serious threat. Okay, so he's just going for the Karthus instead. He doesn't want to play into Fireballs. Besides, he can always draw Vampirism, and that can cause some serious problems. Yeah, and he did have the Fireball. Interesting that he Fireballed end of turn there. That's a very aggressive play. It's possible he has multiple Fireballs. If he has 3 Fireballs, that is hilarious. Like, if he just has 3 in hand, that would actually be lethal. If he has 3 Fireballs in hand, he wins the game. That'd be absolutely insane if that was the case. There's no way. That would be 4 Fireballs. 4 Fireballs in one hand. It's just absolute madness. The question is, what can he actually do here? Now, he can Hero Power. The problem is it kills off his own Phoenix and would only kill off a Karthus, so it's not really worth it. If he has Vampirism, it's a serious problem, though. So he wants to be able to remove especially the Karthus, but the Print has a serious problem. The Karthus is a slightly higher priority simply because it has 1 higher attack for Vampirism and also gains life without needing to hit the face as much, since if you overkill you don't gain the extra life, which can be a problem. It's not usually a problem since you're still clearing out their board, but it can be. Usually against burn decks, though.
This is
Alright. He's taking his time on this play. He's definitely taking his time. Duall has sort of shown to be a little bit slower of a player than Crystalslime, which you wouldn't expect since Wisdom Dominion players, as I said, are usually very methodical. So they think over each play and then play. It's a bit like clockwork. Whereas aggressive players tend to be faster when it comes to plays. This is tricky for Duall here, which I've said a lot this series, but it's true. Now, he can't really go ahead and play an Elder here, because Elder would just be food for the Karthus. He probably doesn't have Drayla, since I think most of these decks only play 2. Some play 3, but most only play 2. So they don't usually have them every time. Drayla is very powerful though. Very underrated card. It's been like this for a while, but very underrated card, and it was really waiting for this kind of mid-range Dominion type deck to arrive for Drayla to be very good. And now there is a sort of mid-rangey Rage Dominion deck. Because keep in mind, this is not a control deck. It's definitely a mid-range deck. Definitely a mid-range deck. It has some late game, but it plays very much like a mid-range deck, and that's one of the reasons why it's having so many issues against control. As traditionally, mid-range is at its best against aggro, and control is at its best against mid-range, which is the case with these two decks. As RD tends to have very good matchups against aggro decks, but very bad matchups against sort of these uber control decks. Although it can stand its own against some of them, but it's a lot more difficult than, say, for more disruptive mid-range decks in the past. Oh, he's going for a removal plan here. Oh, that's why I was thinking about it so much. Because he's giving Crystalslime some life here, but he's going for the removal play. Does he have a, yeah, he does. He had a fireball. Okay. Now, the problem is he leaves fireball in yard now. Well, he's got 2, actually. So, Bloodwell Matriarch will kill off the Phoenix. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Drayla Bloodwell. And he doesn't have any spells. He doesn't have any spells left. That's problematic. And he has a perfect answer. He can go Dominion level, Karthus, Mistress. It actually wipes out both of those plays. That is quite problematic for Crystal here. Granted, he can just Cataclysm that if he wants to, or he can use a Weakness Emblem off Cathedral. Has to be Cathedral, keep in mind. It can't be Bloodseeking Mutant, as he can't actually put Weakness Emblems on vampires, which is something a lot of people forget about. Even though it has reminder text on it now. It never used to, though. Very annoying card to play with sometimes. Didn't used to actually have that reminder text. Caused some issues. Now, are we going to see that Karthus Mistress play? I think we're definitely going to see the Mistress here, because Mistress has a not amazing amount of applications. And it also draws a card. We might see a Karthus here, we might not. If he drew Dragonfire or something, he'll probably use that instead. Yeah, so he's got the Karthus, and the question is, does he move it back? Yes, he does. So he's playing around the Weakness Emblems, forcing out a Karthus or some other form of single target removal, like a Helm. Although it seems like he's not playing any more than 2 Helms maximum. It might be a one-off. You never know. Because we saw that Helm earlier, but we haven't seen one since, so he's probably playing 2 of them. And he's going to weaken the 3/3 after combat, which is, yeah, he caught himself before he missed the damage there. So yeah, he doesn't miss the damage, and he gets to gain some life off this thing and make it a little bit less useful. Now, interestingly, they're both on the same number of cards, which you wouldn't expect for this this phase of the game. However, this is when the hero powers start mattering. Next turn, Crystalslime has access to a Karthus out of Duall's deck, which is huge and is seriously problematic. So yeah, he's going to get a Karthus out, which will neutralize any play Duall has, and then he has to deal with his own Karthus. Interesting. So he went for the double Phoenix. He didn't go for the hero power play. He might be trying to force out a Cataclysm here. But the thing is, Phoenix is very protected against Cataclysm. You have to deal with him twice. Phoenixes are a problem. If you don't have Helm, Phoenix can be a serious problem. He's got the 2 power discharges. He could go power discharge, power discharge. Maybe Prenha. He goes for the Cataclysm. He's going to take some damage here. I think his thinking here is that 6 damage is not a massive amount. He can make that up later. The question is, what's he going to do now? Prenha? Yeah, he's going to go for the Prenha. He's going to take the 6. He's probably thinking Flame Serpent. Actually, no. Did he see the Flame Serpent? I don't think so. He did not see the Flame Serpent because Duall never played it. Okay. So he's probably thinking, well, at this stage of the game, there's probably not a lot of reach he has. He definitely doesn't have fireballs right now. Or if he has one, he only has one, so he doesn't need to worry about lethal. And he gets his Prinha down. And he's got another Cataclysm if he needs it. Bidding. Bidding is huge. And he went for the damage mode on bidding. So he knows that his opponent will probably have bidding at some point. Now, this causes serious problems with Crystalslime because he doesn't have his own Scatterdoors right now. Which means this bidding is going to hurt a lot. He's going to take 4 damage here. He's going to go down to 10. And he has life gain, but he needs to get his Scatterdoors bidding. This also puts him on a bit of a clock, as if Duall gets to 12 mana, he can actually Dragon and then hit him twice and kill him. So, until he gets bidding out, he's in serious trouble here. Now, what we might see coming out of this is a hero power on the Prenha, hit face, maybe hero power. Depends on his hand. If he has another weakness emblem, then he can go. Actually, no, he can't because they're both vampires, right? Yeah. They're both vampires, so a mutant is fairly useless here. Mutant's the kind of card which you definitely side out in this matchup. He's in a little bit of trouble. But this is definitely looking up for Duall compared to previous games. He's in a situation where he can actually win the game now. And there is no vampirism. And without vampirism or Scatterdoors, he will not win the race against his bidding. The hero power helps to some extent since he can get Karthus, but I think that's the last Karthus in his deck. So he's in a few problems here. Now this will just kill the Karthus. He put the target emblem on it, so even if he splits damage, the Karthus will still die, so he's just going to put it all on one. And then he gets to reduce the size of Prinha, go face, he can chump it, but he probably doesn't care if he chumps it. I mean, if he takes 3 damage, that's a serious problem though. He's already low enough, he has to chump block it, and then he's going to have to Cataclysm this board. Unless he actually does that. He can get a Fireball for that. He could go Fireball, Shock. Since that reduces the amount he's going to lose. He could go Fireball, Power Discharge, the Elder. He's cycling. Okay, he does lose an extra life for doing that, though. He really needs the Scathador's bidding right now. Yeah, there's no reason to use the Fireball there. He's down to 5. I think Crystal's panicking a little bit here, since he's now put himself in dragon range, whereas if he hadn't played the Matriarch, dragon would not kill him right now. If Duall has dragon, the game's over. I think playing either... I think the Matriarch was the mistake there, because the Mistress, he gets the cycle at least. Duall doesn't seem to have the dragon, so he's safe for a turn, but I think that was a little bit of a pressured mistake there. He's on 5. He hasn't seen his biddings yet. He's probably playing 2. 3 is, I mean, he's probably playing 2 with a 3rd in the sideboard. That's probably how he's doing it, but he hasn't drawn it yet, which is it's a bit unlucky. He's drawn through half his deck. You usually see 1 by now, but he's in a little bit of trouble here. But Duall does not seem to have the means to finish him off currently. Battle Scarred. Another Power Surge. I think this is starting to get to the point where Duall can actually deal 10 damage from phase. And he's going to draw this dragon soon. There's a Fireball. Now keep in mind, he's just trying to play around life gain. He's getting these out of his hand to deal with Draylas. He needs a bidding here. That doesn't do it. And actually, he's not dead yet. He can still hero power to gain a bit of life. He needs to hero power here. Gains him 1 life. He's going to take 2 damage right now. He needs to gain the 1 life to survive. He can hero power Fireball. That saves him. Playing the Vampirism doesn't work out though. He needs to hero power. I think he's dead now. He can go up to 4, but then yeah, he's dead now. He needed to hero power Fireball to live an extra turn. I mean, the end of that game, he didn't draw his bidding, which was huge. But Crystal, you could definitely tell towards the end of that game he was panicking a bit. Which, yeah, or maybe just getting a bit annoyed. But yeah, that definitely went Duall's way. That really does show how important bidding is. But yeah, towards the end of that game, saw a couple misplays that were probably just due to the situation he was in. Although it seemed like he was probably going to lose that game regardless, since it would only buy him an extra turn maybe. But yeah, Duall's won a game, which means he needs to win 1 more game out of the next 2. This is coming down to the wire. Now, there was a prediction in chat earlier, 4-1. Now, this could actually be true. It's currently 2-1. Now, sideboarding will probably take less time since they've done the sideboarding before, so they don't have to think about it as much. But we'll have to see. Yeah, they don't have to think about it as much, so shouldn't take as long, that's for sure. Where are these two from? I know Crystalslime's from China. Dual's from the US. Alright, so time zone difference, a bit of a problem. So yeah, Dual's American and Crystalslime is Chinese. So we should be getting into game number 4, I think. Yep, game number 4 pretty soon. Now for this game we're going to be watching Duall, since we watched Crystalslime for games 1 and 3. it's always interesting watching from one side, because not knowing, because I mean, when you're looking at one side, you can often comment more on the plays of the person you're watching specifically because you don't have that extra information that he wouldn't have either. Whereas, and Julio is calling me. And Skype is not. What the hell? That was weird. Skype crashed on me. Alright, let's see if we can get him on here. Come on, Hole! No. No, he's... What? How is he busy? Does it still think he's in a call with me? Well, evidently not. It's not even possible. Alright. Hopefully his problems are fixed so that we can actually do the last one or two games as a dual casting as opposed to just singular. Hello?
Hello.
Yes! Alright, that sounds fine.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm just on my mobile data. My internet connection is fucked.
Oh.
So, have I missed the whole thing?
It's currently, well, they're coming up to, well, game 2 of Series 2. Duall won the first game.
Oh, okay.
So there's going to be at least one more game, maybe 2.
It's interesting. So he won the the game he wasn't able to tech for.
I think it's more, Crystal's list is, his game 1 list is very, very defensive against aggro.
Right.
And then he sides out the stuff that's not very good against mid-range and control.
Sure. We're on delay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, me saying stuff in Jules' hand isn't going to be a problem.
Nope. I mean, we've been
Okay.
spectating. Like, I'm spectating Dual at the moment because I've been alternating.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, like he's got a very potentially aggressive hand. Like,
Molten
I'm interested to
passage,
see
molten
what's
passage.
out here. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
game he
has
won,
all the passage rates.
he stuck a damage bidding down early, and
Mhm.
Slime never
Yeah.
drew his, and then
Yeah.
towards the end of the game, it was, I mean, it was very unlucky that he didn't draw bidding, but you could see it was getting to him a little bit because he was spending mana he didn't need to and such, but it would only have bought him an extra turn, so I don't think it would have mattered in the end.
Sure. So that's a decent draw off Molten Passageway, considering that there were no creatures on board.
Wow. He
yeah.
sided in gnomes.
Really? Have we seen that in any of the other games?
Nope.
Jesus.
That's the first time I've seen a gnome in play in a long time, by the way.
Now, Slime, you wouldn't just add in gnomes in the very last final, would you? I don't think you would.
I think he might maybe he's only playing 1 or 2 in the board.
Like, yeah. Like, that'd probably be it.
I mean, he probably was also thinking before that he didn't need them because the first game went so well for him. But I think after the last game, he might be thinking, okay, we need to be super careful here.
Yeah, exactly, because all he needs is the one more win.
Also, keep the surprise factor if you don't need
That is
it.
a huge mind exort.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not sort of essentially relevant.
I mean, it is huge later. No silencers have been played this series so far. They've all been extorted. And we've lost Hall again. Oh no, he's back. Okay.
Gotta get rid of me that easy. Okay.
Was becoming a meme at this
Um,
point. And Hall's gone.
I have actually, I am struggling to log into the game at the moment.
Oh
Um,
God.
it worries me because Masters is also tonight, which we are both competing in.
Yep.
Your that's fine though, so
I mean, at least mine's working, so the stream didn't die.
oh yeah, no, I mean that's the main thing, right?
Uh, yeah. All right, we got Helm on Phoenix. That's the natural predator of Phoenixes,
Oh yes.
and there's no way of removing the Helm in this deck since I don't think there's a single chance he's got
He's
fireworkers.
got to, he's got to kill the Phoenix.
Yep.
I mean, but then that said, I don't know what his side deck tech is, so maybe, we just saw one of the first cards from Crystal's tech, so maybe he chucked a fireworker in.
Maybe. I don't think Crystal's playing that many Helms though, because I saw one in his hand in game one, so he's playing at least one in his game one deck, but we didn't see another
Mhm.
one through the whole game. Maybe one of them in Divine Offering, so there's probably only two in the deck.
Sure, right.
Um,
So I mean, it's not that uncommon for Wisdom Dominion deck to have just one helm.
mm.
But it's possible that he had just one in the side and was like, all right, there's a shit ton of big dragons and stuff that I want to grab, so we'll get the second one in.
This is the most amount of extortions I've ever seen in one game at this point.
They were teched in.
They've been just ripped. Like, I don't think either of them have a spell left in their hand right now.
Good. Two
I
control decks forced to fight it out with creatures.
He also teched in Flameborn Incarnate, which I
Yeah.
I did mention earlier is an interesting idea. Although against Advanced Despina, it's a bit risky because you're also going 4 levels.
Yeah. I mean, it's still great value, I guess, just to have a 4/4, which you can then, if it survives and isn't shock, you can then ramp up using your mana. You've got mana ramp also, but
Yeah.
Crystalslime's a good enough player to not leave that unchecked.
I'm a bit surprised he didn't try for the Cathedral there to maybe weaken the print house so he can hero power next turn. That may have been because he's got enough shrines where I don't think it's enough of a risk.
Mm.
Because he can't Karthus is the problem. Because if he does, then he's got he can Karthus the print hub, but then the incarnate becomes a 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
this is gonna be hard.
You know what? I'm actually just going to switch my whole computer to my mobile hotspot because that's going to work better than the current Wi-Fi.
That mobile bill.
Nah. This is the finals.
He might be dead here.
Really?
Tie up.
No, don't die yet.
Wait, did he just?
Wait for me to log in.
Well, this isn't the last game.
Okay.
No, he isn't, because he can't attack the Phoenix, right? He was like 2 off lethal or something.
All right,
3 off lethal, yeah.
but not looking good still.
Another mind extortion.
How many now?
Well, I think Duall's played 1. I think he might have played 2, and I think both of them have been matriarched. Or maybe they just
Jesus.
didn't have that many spells between them. Maybe it was only 1 between them. 1 each. Yeah, just Dual's dead here. Just to aggression.
Ooh. Well,
That's rough.
makes it a bit exciting for the final round.
Yep, we've got one last game. So we
Last
actually
shot, Jill.
did go all the way to game 3 here, but we've this will be the 5th game since the first series was a 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
The prediction in chat was 4-1. Which
Yeah,
could still
right.
happen.
I mean, like we said at the start, it's a serious mismatch.
It really
Um,
is. It's really hard.
like RD's Ash right now, it seemingly almost beats anything except that one deck,
Yeah, pretty
which it
much.
does not.
It's Artie's Ash is super strong right now, apart from against Wisdom Dominion.
Yeah, the one deck he has to face in the final. I mean, like, nice job winning the winners bracket.
I mean, if he was gonna face it anywhere, this is his best chance. But
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll
he
see how
needs
much of a chance it was, won't we?
he needs to win one more game. He's won
Yeah.
one game out of four so far. All right, I'm gonna spec Crystal Slime. Uh,
Yeah. If it lets me get on, I'll get on Jules' side.
all right.
I am on.
Yay! All
Woo.
right.
Horrendous amounts of mobile data. Okay.
Bam, no.
Wow,
What?
this is really fast. My internet must be shit. That's
Well-
what happens when you live on a country that is also a continent.
Roaming data is
A
actually
giant desert in the middle.
roaming data is pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet in the UK is not brilliant either. It's serviceable, but
Hmm.
it definitely could be a lot better.
Yeah.
Then again,
The
I've kind
problem
of
is-
discovered most places that aren't like mainland Europe have terrible internet.
So he decides not to ramp there and go for the mining instead.
He's probably thinking New Horizons for him is better than Power
Yeah.
Surge for me.
Like, if he can, like, stopping his ramp is more important than ramping himself.
Also, ramping
Makes
for
sense.
him with Spark just makes him go first, basically. It doesn't actually ramp him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the spark doesn't really equal out the second turn disadvantage, I think.
It's also one of those things
It
where it's
doesn't. But you're still behind on curve, so.
yeah, the extra card helps, but yeah, it's rough. Like it only really equalizes when you're playing a deck with a lot of two drops. In an aggro mirror, because then your two drops are simply better turn one plays than his one drops.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you're doing Corona Slaves and you had two aristocrats in hand,
Oh, it's nuts.
with the Dominion level, you do not mind going second.
The question is, I mean, it's also Power Surge versus New Horizons with Spark. Power Surge is literally you go down a card, up a mana, lose your Spark. You literally go first. New Horizons is a little stronger than that because the level you'd have to go up later anyway, so you would be down a card. So you're not really losing a card.
Yeah.
You're losing a card in the short term, but gaining it back later. So you're really just going first, fixing your colors, and not really losing your card. So
That's
New
true.
Horizons is way stronger off Spark than Power Surge.
Yeah, I mean, early on you want Horizons, later on you want the
You want
Power
Surge?
Surge. Yeah. So does Cathedral do much for him here? I guess. Yeah, he does. He does have a few 4 HP creatures, which he brings down to that magic
Cathedral's
3 number.
big.
The hero power takes out.
Yeah, Cathedral's really important because Prinha, Matriarch, Karthus, there's a lot of 4 HP stuff.
Yeah. So what does he do here? I mean, he wants to mind extort.
I don't think Dual's
Yeah.
used a hero power yet.
Yeah, no, he's actually used that to level. Oh, you mean the
like
Zash
total-
hero power?
I don't
Sure.
think he's used it in any of the 5 games. He had a few options where he could, but he just did decide to do other plays because they were a bit better.
Yeah, sure. You get rid of that Horizons.
Yeah, probably.
Or does he get discharged though?
They're both cards. One ramps him though. No, I mean like cycle.
No, you're not wrong.
They're both cards. All
Yeah.
right. What I meant to say was they slow him down, but yeah.
Alright. It's just, they're just trading this.
Matriarch, the
No,
ultimate
you don't
counter
get
to
a
Minding
card. No,
Store.
you don't get a card.
Could you imagine if it was Splitting Headache?
Yeah. Um, Splitting Headache is quite good.
Used to be 2 mana.
Really?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
What's
So it's
funnier
like
is that when it was nerfed, corruption wasn't very good, so everyone was like, why is this getting nerfed? But if it was in the game in that form now, everyone would be complaining about it constantly.
yeah, for sure. So
Uh,
instant cast
yeah,
deal
it
with
goes to the
that,
Karthus.
and that Phoenix is just effortlessly dealt with.
Matriarch has really come into its own recently.
Oh yeah.
Like with the resurrection of red.
Mm. What? Yeah, are you referring to the
Fireball.
lowering of Fireball to 2 mana?
Yeah. The resurrection of red, as I said.
So not a great start here for Dual.
This is, I mean, to be
Or
honest, the best he can do right
is-
now is a Lucky Dragon. Which he has.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
No,
it's just not enough though.
he doesn't have a
There's too
Fireball
many
in the yard
ants.
to use. He's gonna shock it. And there's the bidding. Alright, I think this game's just over. With bidding,
Yeah.
bidding coming down, we've seen bidding before where bidding in game 1 of series 1,
Mhm.
or was it game 2? No, it was game 2. Bidding single-handedly won the game for Crystal. He would have died 100% if it wasn't for bidding.
Mhm. So
And yeah.
question. Before wait. No, okay, never mind. Before I cut out, I noticed that Jewel had a bidding in hand, and I was thinking, and he was closer to ramp that out, and I was thinking if he can place that first and put the damage on, then he can start the squeeze on him, and that's pretty much like one of the ways that you can really beat or punish WD,
Yeah.
because then whoever plays the bidding, because they can then put the life gain on, but they're still going to be down.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a situation where both players have had a bidding yet.
Mm.
But
So, but I was just wondering what was that bidding?
bidding's just won the game every single time anyone's played it so far.
But I mean, in game 1, series 1, Jewel had a bidding in hand.
I don't think he played it.
That might have been a mistake.
I can't remember. I was watching Crystalslime for game 1.
Yeah. So it seems like it's just here.
He might have just DO'd it or it got extorted. Nah, Crystal doesn't play extorts. He probably just DO'd it, which could be a mistake, but I don't know because I don't know when he had it. Yeah.
So it takes 2 for that. It's going to take another 4, and it is close to over.
At this point, yeah.
But he does have the second dragon, just not enough mana to punish the face with it before he dies himself.
I mean, if he just attacks here, he takes him down. There's no fireball in the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, bidding really is the best card in the game in control mirrors.
Mm.
Or I guess it's more
Oh,
mid-range
gee.
deck, but yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this game's over.
That's
Don't really want to beat around the bush here.
Yeah, I mean, just hit him in the face as much as you can. Just do it.
Well,
There is no possible way of victory here.
yeah, Crystal got knocked down to the losers
Congratulations.
bracket, fought his way through.
Yeah. When did he get knocked out?
He got. I have to look this up. I think it was in. It may have been the series after he beat me.
Okay, so not too early.
Well, actually, yeah, good check this. Viria. Or Ivia, actually.
Yeah, the Ivia Open,
I keep saying
named by
Aviria.
Albin.
Aviria, Asperia.
I had it named as something stupid, just a terrible fucking name. And luckily I've got Album on my team though, who
Told you no.
fixes all my aesthetic and other
Yep.
mistakes.
Crystal lost to Comsiant, and then he
I-
ended up after he lost to Comsiant, he went down to losers bracket, beat Drygord, then Toric, and then beat Comsiant actually. Yep, he got his revenge on Comsiant. So Comsiant lost the duel, then Crystalslime comes back, and he ends up winning against Duall 4-1. That's some
Well,
predictions right there.
yeah, nice job, chat,
Wait, who
and
made that prediction?
congratulations, Crystalslime.
Comsiant made the prediction.
Did he?
Yeah.
Comsient has decided this tournament.
He's been a player in every part of this.
Yeah, yeah. He is the little finger of the Ivia Open.
Well, congratulations to Crystalslime.
Yeah, and very well played throughout the tournament by Duall. Did your best in the end there. It was just too much of a difficult matchup to overcome.
Duall, before the final, only lost one game.
Yeah, yeah.
He 2-0'd almost everyone.
So, Duall's a recent member of the Shining.
Oh, is he on the team?
And yeah, he is. He's just joined with Stanel this last month. I also want to say quickly thank you to Stanel, who took on a big role for organising the tournament when I was unable to, with just a family emergency. So that was great by him for a new member to step in like that. Also, interesting thing about Duall is I actually thought he was new, like when I was playing him in Masters 2 months ago. He's been playing since closed beta.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, but has just decided to actually play competitively recently. So yeah, that was a bit embarrassing when I had the first conversation with him. But yeah,
Might
he
be
kept beating me.
possible,
So.
we could get him on for a bit. Like, maybe... Because Crystal's in China, which... I'm not sure if we could get him on for an interview.
I mean,
I can ask
I don't
him.
know. Why don't we ask?
I'll message him. Or you can.
Yeah.
Okay.